All right, number one on problem solving by systems. First of all, number one says that we have a collection of nickels and quarters that's worth $4.65. And it goes on to say that there are 3 more nickels than there are quarters. What we're going to do is we're going to use a system of equations to determine how many coins are in the collection. Keep in mind there's only 2 types of coins in this collection. We've got nickels and we also have quarters. Those are the only 2 things in the collection, quarters and nickels. Now it does tell us that all of the money is worth $4.65, and it also tells us that there are 3 more nickels than quarters. So we're going to have to keep that in mind. Now the first thing we're going to do is, just like yesterday, we're going to have to come up with 2 different variables. One variable to represent nickels and another variable to represent quarters. What?
N and Q.
N and Q. So we're going to use N, and that's going to represent the number of nickels. And then we'll use Q to represent the number of quarters, which is what we're looking for. How many nickels and how many quarters are in this collection? All right, so we've done the first part. We've got some variables. Now we're going to use those variables to come up with 2 equations. I need 2 different equations. So the first equation, it tells us here that the money is worth $4.65. So if I take all of my nickels and all my quarters, put them all together, it equals $4.65. So does anybody remember how much a nickel is worth?
5 cents.
5 cents. And how do you write 5 cents?
5.
No. Huh? 0.5. No, not 0.5. There it is, 0.05. So 5 cents is written as 0.05.
Like that.
And that's 5 cents.
$100.
So each nickel is 5 cents. So we also have some quarters. And how much is a quarter worth? 25 cents. And how do you write 25 cents? 0.25. And we said we were going to use Q for quarters. So if I take all my nickels and all my quarters, put them all together, it should equal $4.65. So there's the first equation. That's how much all that coin is worth. Now the next part's a little bit tricky. The second equation is going to come from this sentence right here. It says that there are 3 more nickels than there are quarters. Stop and think about what it says. There are 3 more nickels than there are quarters. So my question is, do we have more nickels or do we have more quarters? There's more nickels. So keep that in mind. There are more nickels. So we're going to come over here and say that the number of nickels is equal to however many quarters I have plus 3 more, because it says 3 more. So we're going to take the number of quarters, add 3 to that, and that'll give me how many nickels I have in my collection. There's 3 more nickels than there are quarters. So I now have my system. I've got 2 equations. Now I need to come out and solve this equation, or this system. I've got 4 different methods to choose from here. I can graph it, I can do substitution, I can do elimination, or I can use that calculator method called the matrix. Now most of you guys like the matrix, and that's fine. We can use that. However, in order to use the matrix, both equations have to be in what we call standard form. The letters have to be on the same side. The first one looks okay, but the bottom equation is not quite ready yet. This Q that you see right here, it needs to be on the other side. So what I'm going to do is move the Q to the other side. That's right. When you move the Q to the other side, it now becomes a negative or a minus Q. It's still going to equal to that 3 that you see right there. So all I did was move the Q to the other side. So right now I'm looking at this equation here and this equation right here. Those are the 2 that I'm looking at. That is what we're going to use. Those are in standard form. Now we're ready to go to our calculators. So everybody go to your calculators. And we're going to go to matrix.
Edit, and then 3.
Everybody go to matrix. And we're going to go to edit. Remember, we're going to need a 2 by 3 matrix. 2 times 3 is 6. We need 6 slots, 6 spaces to put all 6 of our numbers.
N is 1, right?
So the first row of numbers we need, here they are. The first number we need is 0.05. Second number we need is 0.25. And the third number you need is 4.65. So that should be your first row numbers in your matrix. The second row numbers are right here. We need a 1,
-1.
a -1. Make sure you have a -1. And then a +3. 1, -1, +3. That's the numbers you should have in your matrix. Once you have all those values or numbers in, then you can go ahead and do that RREF. Make sure there's 2 R's. RREF. You're going to get something that looks like this right here. You're going to have 2 numbers out to the side there, 2 numbers in that last column. And those numbers you see there are going to represent our solutions. Question is, what are those numbers?
The 1 and 0 are always going to be the same with the last 2 numbers.
I'm looking at, yeah, the last 2 numbers over here.
So it'll be 18 and 15.
18 and 50. Now let's make sure we know what this 18 and 15 are
The 18
representing.
is if you put it in first.
That's right. So 18 is going to represent our first variable, which for us is the nickel. So we have 18 nickels. So out here I'm going to put that I have 18 nickels. That 15 you see down there means that we have 15 quarters. So according to this, in this collection we should have 18 nickels and 15 quarters. Would this make sense here? Let's just check here real quick. 18 plus 15, would that equal, well, first of all, would that be 3 more nickels than quarters? Do I have 3 more nickels than quarters? Yes, I have 18 nickels and 15 quarters. If I were to add this up, since nickels are 5 cents and quarters are 25 cents, would I end up with $4.65?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we would. So yes, we know we have the correct answer because everything checks out. All right, so there's our answer to number 1, 18 nickels, 15 quarters. All right, so I'm going to skip number 2. You'll come back and do that one for me in a minute. We said we were going to skip 3, so let's take a look at number 4. We're looking at number 4. All right, for number 4, it says here that Treeball High School is running an inventory on graphic calculators. They have 2 different types of calculators. They have the TI-83 Plus, and they also have a TI-83 Plus Silver Edition. It says here that the records show that there are 350 calculators for a total of $37,750. Tells us that the TI-83 Plus costs $95. The Silver Edition costs $125. They're more expensive. The question is, how many of each type of calculator are there in the inventory? So we're looking for how many of each type of calculators. So we need 2 variables. We need a variable to represent the TI-83 Plus, and we need another variable to represent TI-83 Plus Silver Edition.
S, another one T.
All right, so we're going to use S. There's nothing wrong with S. And what is S going to stand for?
Silver Edition.
And that's going to represent the number of Silver Edition. And what are we going to use for the other one?
T.
T. We'll use T to represent the number of TI-83 Plus. So that's what these are going to represent. We've got the first step done. Now we need to write 2 equations. The 2 equations. It told us right here there's a total of 350 calculators. So if I take all the calculators, put them all in one big box, there should be a total of 350 calculators all together. So I need an equation to describe that. What would the equation be?
You need.
Remember, guys, there's 350 calculators. Some of them are Silver Edition.
So
Some of them are just the regular TI-83 Plus.
Okay, what was the
So
question?
then it's
I need an equation.
95C, right?
Up.
So it'd be
Guys, what does the S stand for?
Oh,
silver. So it'd be
Number of Silver Edition. What does the T stand for? The number of TI-83 plus.
So S plus T equals
There you go.
350 or?
There you go.
Okay.
Now we're talking. We got S plus T equals 350.
50.
So if I take my regular TI-83 calculator and add it together with my Silver Edition calculators, all of them together should equal 350 calculators total. There's the first one. Now we need a second equation, and that second equation is going to have to deal with the cost. The cost. The Silver Edition. Read through there. See if you can decide how much those Silver Edition calculators are.
$125.
$125. So every Silver Edition calculator is $125. So 125x.
Plus, and then it's 95 T.
95T, because that's how much the
37,000
83 calculators are.
equals $37,750.
$37,750. Very good. All the calculators put together cost a total of $37,750. All right, at this point you have a choice of what method to use to solve this.
Matrix.
I'm guessing probably matrix because it's going to be the faster and easier method. So go ahead and put that in your calculator for me. Everything is set up and ready to go. Once again, you're going to end up with something that looks like this. Don't say anything out loud once you get it. Let everybody have a chance to answer the question.
Mine
You
is
come to school, man, you need paper, you need pencil. Every day. Every day these are materials we need.
I carry like 3 or something, but it's not like until like every 2 days.
Now keep in mind, guys, what we're looking for is how many Silver Edition calculators do we have and how many TI-83 Plus calculators do we have. So, if you were to get a decimal, would it make sense in this situation, a decimal? No, because you have 2.5 calculators. No, it wouldn't make sense. What about negative numbers? Would it make sense for you to have a negative answer? No, there's no way you can have negative 6 calculators. That doesn't make sense. So if for some reason you're getting a decimal or a negative number, you know you're doing something wrong. It wouldn't make sense in this situation. All right, anybody got the two numbers yet?
150, 200.
150
200.
and 200. We all agree with those two numbers. We're good with that.
Yes.
Okay, now let's make sure we know which one is which. When you say 150 of which one?
Silver.
The Silver Edition. 150 Silver Edition calculators. And 200 of the regular TI-83 Plus calculators. So we now know how much of each of these calculators we have. All right, that takes care of number 4.
And then number 6, please tell me to do number 6.
Number 5, we skip that one. So let's go over to number 6, and we're going to work on number 6 together. Number 6. Now, don't worry too much about what they're asking for here, A and B. We're going to keep doing the same thing we've been doing with the other ones today and yesterday. So, for number 6, it says here that we got a beginner's artist kit that costs $6.35. And what does this kit have? It has 2 brushes and 5 jars of paint. Then we got another kit, a standard kit. It has 4 brushes and 12 jars of paints. And that one costs $13.20. So that one's more expensive. Why is that one more expensive?
It has more.
Because it has more stuff in it, doesn't it? It's got 4 brushes and 12
12
jars
jars.
of paint. So there's more stuff, so obviously it's going to cost
More.
more. So what we need to do is find out how much they're charging for the brush and how much they're charging for the jar of paint. So those are the 2 things we're going to be looking for. So for the brushes, I need something or a variable to represent brushes.
The B.
B. B is going to represent what they're charging for the brush. So that's going to be the cost of the brush.
And then
That's what my B
jars,
is.
J.
Jar of paint. What are we going to
J.
use for jar of paint?
J.
J. Use J for jar of paint. That's going to be how much the jar of paint costs. J is going to represent the cost of the jar of paint. So I've got my variables. I know what they represent. Now I'm ready to start writing some equations here. The first equation comes from the very first sentence here. Let's read that first sentence again. It says that the first kit costs $6.35. And what does that kit have? 2 brushes and 5 jars of paint. So what's the equation I'm looking at here? 2 brushes.
2B plus 5J.
2B plus 5.
35.
There you go. 635. So 2 brushes, 5 jars of paint equals $6.35. There's the first one.
And then 4B.
The other one is going to be very similar. We got 4 brushes, 12 jars of paint, and that costs $13.20. What am I looking at for my equation?
4B
4B
J plus 12J
plus 12J
equals $13.26.
equals $13.20. All right, now we got the 2 equations. We got our system set up. Now we're ready to find the answer. So go ahead and put that in your calculator. I'm assuming you're going to use that matrix again.
We can use this in the test, right?
Yes, you can use this on the test on the last 2 questions. Let's not forget, guys, what we're looking for is the cost of the brush and the cost of the paint. So if you were to get a decimal this time, would it be okay to have a decimal this time?
Yes.
Yes, because we're talking about money now. We're talking about the cost of a brush and paint. It wouldn't make sense, though, for a negative number. You can't have a brush that costs -$5. It's okay to be a decimal, but it's not okay to be a negative.
Got it.
Rosa, you got an answer?
Yeah.
What'd you get?
Got 255.
255 for the first one, and what? And 25 cents for the other one. So 255. What costs 255? The brush or the paint?
Brush.
The brush. The brush costs 255. And how about the jar of paint?
It's 0.25.
0.25. 25 cents. So that's how much the brush and the paint cost. All right. So that takes us through number 6. What I want you guys to do now is go back and work those other 3 forms. So you're going to be working number 2. You're also going to be working number 7 and 8. And I want this before we leave here.